Hey everybody. Happy next week to you. Hope things are going well for you. So I have noticed that there are um, s- this technical report. It's got a lot of moving parts. It's tricky. I would say it's the trickiest thing that we have done so far. And I would also go so far as to say that I think I'm not really that satisfied with the clarity of the instructions. I feel like there are a number of documents that are spread out. There's not really like if I were in charge of like being able to like describe this and like set this up, I would have a single document that says, okay, here's exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and here's all the documents right here. Just like a one stop shop for everything you need to do the technical report. I feel like it's kind of spread out. So um, just recognizing that that's the case, okay, like I'm going to walk you through what the different documents are, what you need. I feel like I wish this was like before you even started that you had this. I feel like my timing is off, so I apologize. In my mind, this is if you have figured this out, this can be confirmation that boom, you're on the right track and you should keep going. Uh, if you felt like you're on the right track, but something I say is like, oh, that was not what I thought. Um, Now you can be on the right track. And if you feel like, wow, I've been so overwhelmed with this, I have no idea where to start, and I'm behind. You still have enough time to get caught up, work on this, go back, resubmit those. Uh, kind of, it's an incremental kind of a thing where like there are different sections, and it's been having you submit the different sections of the report. So my goal is to explain this in as clear a way as I can, and I apologize it didn't come earlier. So up front, we had the description, the overview, has the memo like, okay, what are you supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be talking about, okay, uh, the school wants to have an effort to accomplish increased student healthiness. They performed a survey to assess how students are doing, especially in relation to screen time, how it's being used. So in week 7 and week 8, there are documents reporting that whole survey thing. You are supposed to just take this information and run with it as if you had done it. So this report is like you're the person who did this survey, and you're you're uh, you're basically just doing the end part of it, where you're drawing conclusions, you're analyzing it, um, and making a recommendation based on that information. So let me walk through some of the documents that we've got. So we've got the uh, survey design description. And in here, just as a tip, there's a lot of information describing how you read the survey, where this is coming from, to really like strengthen your sections of like, hey, this is not just me making this up. This is actually like um, scientifically based. So, like for example, the PANAS Gen uh, this is not just something that they made up. There's actually that link goes to here where it describes, okay, this is a self-report measure of affect. So being like how well of student well-being. Here's how it's designed. Here's all of the things. The positive affect questions are a lot of the odd ones, but then it switches to even. Anyway, so there's all of this information that shows up in the survey description. This is just the survey without any results in it. The students went through, they took this survey of like, okay, how are you doing? So this is going to be resulting in like students who are, oh man, they're kind of struggling, or they are doing really well. Um, and then after that, they have, okay, what behaviors are you doing, and how often are you doing them? And then when we go to the data table, we've got all of that spread out. So we've got, sorry, let me get over here. The low, that means like the students who weren't very high on the affect, the Panis Gen affect scale of like how well are they doing. They're struggling with various things. So how often do you go to social affairs? The most important information is, I guess count can be in there, but the mean, this is the really important one where it's like, okay, students who are struggling, they're in the low, they went to social affairs or parties 2.44 out of 5, compared to students who are doing really well, they went 2.89. So I kind of have a problem with correlation is not causation. So it's like they went to parties and social affairs more, but how do we know that it's not due to some other, I mean, how can we lay this at the feet of screen time usage? I'm not really that, but that's what this assignment is about. Try not to make that fallacy of causation equals correlation. So be kind of cautious in your phrasing of like, this is what it indicates. We recommend based on this solid evidence, even as we don't know for a fact that this is actually what's causing. Anyway, so what I would say is you want to report some of these. You don't have to do everything. If you walked through everything, your report would be really, really long if you're really going to do justice to it. But you can be like, okay, we noticed that students who spent time on the internet, is this out of 5 or is it out of... Anyway, the students who are struggling low on the wellness were spending more time on the internet than students who were doing better. They were spending more time playing video games than students who were doing more well in their health. Therefore, we recommend providing social events and parties because we noticed that students who are doing more, or like if you have like ones that can hit multiple, if you go through and you notice, hey, these 2 categories, we could have an event that draws on these 2 categories and also hits on these other categories. So your job is to go through all of this data, not get overwhelmed by it, which is a task, I will admit, because there's a ton here. But you just need to find something that you feel is usable, draw some connections, put it into the report, solidify all of it by like, okay, what is this report? What is the survey? How did we do it? Methodology, all of this other stuff. Let's see, what else am I missing? Oh, and then we've got the actual template. So each of the places that you're sending it to will have a different kind of format. You need to download this template and plug in. So the report title, you would come up with a report title based on this. And then you're going to put in, plug in all of the information. You're going to have the report name, the date, leave that the same. You may be like, this looks like some strange English to me. To which I say, this is actually Latin. I took a bunch of Latin, so for fun, I like to go through and like try to translate some of it. But basically, it's nonsense. This is just, here is text. Text is supposed to go here. We don't want it in English so that you accidentally are like, oh yeah, look, there's an introduction already provided for me. You're supposed to look at it and at a glance be able to tell, wait a second, I can't do anything with this. This is not going to look good if I leave this how it is. So it's kind of putting pressure on you of like, the stuff that's in English is meant for you to understand. Do not leave it in. So this stuff, you're not supposed to leave that in, but you are supposed to do something with it. All of this the methods. You can use this information, but with freedom. Don't I fiat lorem. I'm getting sucked into the Latin. I really enjoy the Latin. Side note, I was filling in for another teacher this week, and he has a student who's from Iceland, and I served a mission in Sweden. And so at the beginning of before class, she was watching a video in Icelandic, and I was like, "Oh, could you turn that up? I want to hear some Icelandic." I really get sucked into this language stuff. Anyway, so you're supposed to have. I wish that they had added more stuff, like so that it was like the length that they are expecting to see. They're expecting more than a paragraph, more than the stuff. They describe like I don't know. I don't know how much in depth to go, like the difference between results and discussions, but basically the discussion is where you bring in analysis. So the difference between summary and analysis is an important one, where like summary is just like the facts of like, here is the summary or the survey, here's the results we got from the survey, you're just telling that. Then in the discussion, that's where you analyze, which is telling the meaning behind those facts, behind the summary. So results, summary. Discussion, analysis. This is where if you can come up with awesome charts like this, be a great place to really like lay out, okay, here's the difference between, so category one might be amount of time spent doing behavior A. And then here's wellness A, wellness B, wellness C, like high, medium, low, I mean. And then category 2 is cell phone usage. Category 3 is video game usage. And like you'll break it down. I'm trying to think. I think you should be able to, yeah, you'll be able to go in and like customize all of the information in here. Man, they are throwing a lot at you though, because this is like a lot of moving parts. If you feel overwhelmed, I do not blame you at all, because I feel like even with them providing the template, all of the survey information, all of the design information, like this is a lot. And to not have like a really crystal clear video walking you through it, or a face-to-face session, yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, it's still doable though. I believe in you. I have seen everyone in this class do quality work to the point where without reservation, I know that you can do this. If you need to hand in stuff that you're like, I don't know that I'm getting this, I feel like I'm dropping the ball, hand it in, and I will do my best. I know like this is where for me, like I feel a lot of like, man, I wish I were more on the ball with grading, because like I wish that you would handed things in and immediately I'd graded them so that you knew exactly where you were going. Things are ramping up for me as well. Like I've got it's kind of do or die time for me in my dissertation. Like I've got deadlines. I've got job application deadlines. I've got teaching this class, teaching another class. I've got personal, family. So I get where you're coming from. I feel for you, and I'm in some ways I'm kind of in the same boat. And I wish it were different. But do your best. Email me. Like I really like. I'm more on. I feel like grading emails though I have been on top of, and so send me some emails. Wear my ear off. I will be lenient if I feel like you're trying to like work through it, and like put in the time and effort. Okay, This has been a longer video. I hope it's been helpful. Good luck finishing up the technical report. I really like technical reports. Like I feel like there's good things behind this. This is a really good experience. So I believe in it. I just, it's a lot. So there we are. Okay, have a good week. Good luck to you. I'll talk to you later.